So a lot of you guys know that I'm not a massive fan of cryptocurrencies and NFTs. However, many people are because they're attracted to the fact that NFTs and cryptocurrencies are quote unquote decentralized. However, I'm going to make a case for you today that these currencies are potentially more centralized than real world currencies. So I was on Twitter and I saw Floydies trending, a George Floyd NFT. And this was fucking outrageous. I mean, obviously, it's just somebody that is edgy humor pushed to the max. The guy said, in honor of George Floyd's legacy, we're making these NFTs, and it's just outrageous. A George Floyd NFT, I mean, that's fucking crazy. It's pretty damn funny, to be honest, but whatever. So, Floydies, these things were, air quotes, selling for actually like a lot of money, like $1,500 or $1,500 in Ethereum. It's hard to know if they're actually selling with this whole, because you can sell them to yourself and fake accounts and whatnot, but allegedly these things were actually going for some serious money. And then they got banned on OpenSeas, and OpenSeas is the NFT market leader by quite a bit. That is the de facto place where you go to buy, sell, trade, and most importantly, show off your NFTs. That's where you go to see which NFTs people own. Now, you can allegedly go and view them through other means, through other websites and whatnot, but no one really does that. Everyone goes to the market leader for the various space. Whether they use Coinbase or they go to OpenSeas. There are a few other options, but for the most part, everybody's using the top three, and everybody else is kind of left by the wayside. So being a market leader in the NFT space is massive. This means that the power is even more centralized than in real life, because in real life you have currencies and there's a lot of hands involved. There's physical distances. There's physical currency. It's much harder for, as many of you may not believe it, but it's much harder for a globalism situation to happen in real life than it is on the internet, just due to the way the internet is structured. Perfect example is real life. As we get more and more technologically advanced, more and more of the wealth goes towards less and less people, because naturally less and less people can have more of an impact just because of the scaling nature of technology. Same thing happens in NFT and cryptocurrency economies, is that due to the nature of the technology, it is much easier for less people to have a stranglehold on these things. So where am I going with this? If you have a marketplace like OpenSeas that can just flat out ban NFTs, and Bitcoin or Coinbase could just flat out ban cryptocurrencies from trading on their website, that will tank the value of these assets, making them basically worthless, because people trade through OpenSeas, and if you can't trade it through OpenSeas and you can't display it through OpenSeas, you're effectively invisible. OpenSeas is not decentralized. That's where the majority of this is going. So, if anything, the NFT market is far more centralized than than the real world, as crazy as that sounds, because how many people are involved in that, right? This is the best real world example I can give you. Imagine that you're downtown and there's a McDonald's and there's a Burger King, and somebody comes along and says, sorry, Burger King, you got to get the fuck out of here. However, you can still sell the burgers. It's just got to be 15 minutes out of town. Now, sure, they can still sell. Sure, people can still buy it, and they still exist. But do they really? It's nowhere near the same when they can't be right next to McDonald's in the hot place where the people are. This is a recipe for insane amounts of manipulation. I mean, you can manipulate this even temporarily banning something. Let's say you temporarily ban something and it was done in error. No, it wasn't. This is so easily manipulatable. Then you have to factor in political motivations. Let's say there's a Let's Go Brandon coin or a Screw Donald Trump coin. Then it gets really messy, because then what is considered hate speech? A lot of people are probably saying Floydies got banned because that's racist, and maybe it is, but as that line continually gets pushed where everything becomes racist and everything becomes hate speech, at a certain point you kind of have to get worried that this will absolutely get weaponized. So there's your NFTs, boys. I mean, it's just as bad, if not worse, than the real world. So something to think about.